Captain, people are afraid.
That's why I'm here.
Once upon a time, Marvel was the cultural event. You didn't just watch Endgame, you scheduled your life around it. Now, half of us don't even know when a Marvel movie drops until someone spoils it on TikTok. The question we're here to settle today: is Marvel officially done? Or are they just in their midlife crisis phase? The one where they buy a motorcycle, dye their hair purple, and pretend everything's fine. And yes, we're gonna talk about the recent Fantastic Four release, the disaster or masterpiece, and why Thunderbolts already feels like a group project gone wrong, and if the upcoming Spider-Man, Avengers Doomsday, and Avengers Secret Wars can actually pull Marvel back from the cinematic grave. Spoiler alert, don't hold your breath. Unless you're watching one of their underwater fight scenes. Let's start with Fantastic Four. Marvel promised us a fresh new era. What we actually got felt less like a bold new direction and more like a deleted scene from the 2015 reboot. Just shinier CGI and a bigger budget to burn. Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards? Great choice on paper, but even Pedro can't stretch far enough to cover a script that feels like it was auto-generated by a 2019 version of ChatGPT running on dial-up internet. And Marvel swore this was the cornerstone of the new MCU. If Fantastic Four is the foundation, then honestly, it's time to call a structural engineer because the cracks are showing, and the whole house might collapse faster than Disney stock after an earnings call. Which brings us neatly to Doomsday. Now, the movie hasn't even dropped yet, but the hype machine is already treating it like the second coming of Thanos. Huge villain, huge stakes, huge yawn. Marvel still thinks make it louder, make it bigger, add more explosions is the same as make it better. Spoiler alert, it's not. You just know we're gonna get 2 hours of CGI rubble, a villain monologue that sounds like it was stolen from a high school drama script, and of course, the classic Marvel joke every 5 minutes to remind you, hey guys, it's not that serious. And the funniest part? They called it Doomsday, but I have a feeling the only thing doomed is the audience's patience. Marvel movies are like that one friend who says, bro, I'm quitting drinking every weekend, and yet shows up Monday morning smelling like tequila. Resilient little zombie, the MCU just refuses to stay dead. And while we're already knee-deep in Marvel's questionable team-ups, let's talk Thunderbolts, a ragtag crew of side characters you barely remember, thrown together because, well, Marvel said so. It's like they emptied the fridge and said, congrats, here's dinner. Half leftovers, half mystery meat. But hey, they slapped the MCU logo on it, so we're supposed to act excited. And about Doomsday? Oh wait, it's not even out yet, which is wild, because Marvel keeps talking about it like it's the second coming of cinema. Right now, it's basically Schrodinger's movie. Hyped to death, but technically doesn't exist. You can't be disappointed by a film that isn't real yet, right? Give Marvel a few months. They'll find a way. But maybe Marvel's strategy isn't storytelling anymore. Maybe it's just chaos. Throw everything at the wall and hope the multiverse excuse covers it. Spoiler, it doesn't. Confusion is not suspense, no matter how many portals you open. And let's be honest, whether it's Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts, or whatever big bad they're teasing this week, we can see the beats coming a mile away. Act 1, quippy banter. Act 2, sad flashback montage. Act 3, CGI skybeam. Cue slow motion walk and post-credit scene setting up yet another spin-off. Congratulations, you just watched the same movie again, but with a new action figure line. Casting? Don't get me started. Pedro Pascal, Florence Pugh, Oscar Isaac, amazing actors. But Marvel's starting to treat them like stock images. Change the costume, change the accent, ta-da, brand new hero. It's less cinematic universe, more superhero IKEA catalog. And the female heroes? They should be owning the stage right now. But Marvel can't resist slapping, look how progressive we are stickers all over the trailers. Newsflash, Kevin Feige, women aren't headlines, they're characters. The audience doesn't want pandering, they want writing. It's 2025, we can smell performative wokeness faster than a bad CGI wig in reshoots. Marvel used to be the king of glow-ups. Remember Iron Man? Nobody outside comic nerd circles cared about him before 2008. Guardians of the Galaxy? A talking raccoon in a tree? That should have been a punchline. Instead, they became fan favorites. Marvel could take nobodies and turn them into icons. But now, new characters show up like contestants on a reality show. Flashy intro, some drama, and then poof, gone next season. We barely have time to remember their names before the next multiverse lecture starts. And here's the brutal truth. Marvel's biggest enemy isn't Kang. It's not some giant purple villain. It's boredom. 30+ movies, a dozen Disney Plus shows, and a release calendar so crowded it makes Starbucks look like it's running low on coffee beans. Even hardcore fans are starting to say, I'll just catch the important ones. And that is not good for a universe built on continuity, which is why the upcoming Spider-Man movie is such a huge deal. Spidey's the last hero who doesn't need a PowerPoint presentation on the multiverse to sell tickets. People will show up for him no matter what. But the pressure? Insane. If this one feels like just another Marvel paint-by-numbers flick, even Spider-Man might not stick the landing. And yes, pun absolutely intended. Then we've got Avengers Secret Wars, Marvel's ultimate trump card, the big finale, the promise of everybody comes back. Basically the Infinity Buffet. They're betting nostalgia can bring us all back into theaters. But here's the problem with nostalgia. It's like fast food. Hits the spot for a moment, but it's not a long-term diet. If Secret Wars turns out to be Endgame 2.0, Marvel might score one last box office W before the audience finally moves on for good. So the question is, will Marvel reinvent itself and pull off the comeback of the decade? Or are we just watching the slow-motion fall of a giant that forgot how to surprise us? Either way, grab your popcorn. The next few years are gonna decide if the MCU is still magic or just another tired franchise that used to be great. Marvel's not dead. Yet. But the pulse is faint and the patient looks tired. They've burned through goodwill, stretched our attention spans, and are now surviving on nostalgia fumes. Will Spider-Man and Secret Wars save the day? Maybe, but here's my bet. Marvel needs less quantity, more quality. Stop rushing to fill the Disney Plus calendar. Start making us care again. Because right now, the only thing keeping them alive is the hope that the next one will be the one. And if not, well, DC's sitting right there, sharpening its reboot plans. Or maybe Marvel will surprise us and drop the best movie of the decade next year. And maybe I'll get cast as the next Wolverine while I'm at it. And do comment your favorite and worst Marvel movie. Do like this video and subscribe for more.